With us now in the studio is Kevin Quinn, the MTA's Director of Planning. Kevin, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Wholesale changes coming to the bus map in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Why?
Really big. So, our bus network needs to be a lot more reliable for our riders. We need to provide a better service. And BaltimoreLink is our effort to completely transform transit in the Baltimore region. We want to provide a better service. We want to connect better to the modes, the light rail, the metro, commuter bus, MARC train, all the ways to get around. Our region has really changed dramatically over the last 50 or 60 years, and we need a transit system that reflects that.
How did the current transit system evolve? Was it just that over time different routes were added?
Yeah.
And without a whole lot of 30,000 foot planning.
Yeah, so it really evolved decades ago with the trolley lines, right? The start of the trolley lines, and then since then we've put in a metro line and a light rail, and we now run MARC trains all the way from Perryville down to DC, and not once has someone stopped to say we should really take a moment and realign our bus system with all these great modes of transit that we have. We've never taken that opportunity, and this is the opportunity that we have to do that.
Some of that was done, I guess. I mean, out here in the burbs in Owings Mills, and really at any of the metro stops, you see all sorts of bus activity.
Sure, but no one ever, we at a lot of the rail stations, we have some rail stations that have too much bus service. We have other rail stations that have too little bus service. And so, the way that our region has changed, think about places like White Marsh or Towson or Owings Mills, and think about the places that maybe don't have the rail service. So, for example, just last June we launched new express bus link services, and so these connect some great suburban areas for us. So, for example, under our previous bus system, to go from White Marsh down to out to Towson, you had to go White Marsh all the way to downtown, transfer on a bus, come all the way back north to Towson. Makes absolutely no sense at all. So last June, we rolled out a new line going from Towson to White Marsh. Get you there in 45 minutes, what used to take 2 hours.
We have a map. Let's put the map back up for a second.
Sure.
And it's kind of the big view. Well, that's the closer view of downtown Baltimore, and everything's color-coded. I mean, it sort of looks like a hub and spoke kind of thing with how radical is this?
Yeah, it's pretty radical. So let me talk a bit about the framework of the BaltimoreLink system. So the backbone of the system are 12 high-frequency routes, what we call CityLink routes. When I say high frequency, that means they're coming every 10 minutes during peak hours and every 15 minutes during midday. So we lay down this new backbone of 12 lines that are coming really high frequency, pulsing in and out of the downtown. And one really cool thing that we've done is that each of these CityLink lines are connected with one another, as well as the light rail and the metro. So they all touch each other. So if you live on one of these lines, light rail or metro, you can get to anywhere else on one of these other lines with just one transfer.
Let me remind our viewers, if you have a question about the big changes coming to Baltimore's bus network, give us a call. We'll have the number on the screen, or tweet your questions. Use the Twitter address @MPT News. So none of this has happened yet.
That's exactly right.
It all happens on one day in June?
Yes, overnight. So June 17th, Saturday, June 17th into June 18th, overnight, the bus lines will change. And so we've been really engaged with our riders. We got to get the word out. Folks are going to see new route numbers, new routes themselves, where they're going differently. Another really cool piece of this project is a rollout of 5,000 brand new bus stop signs that will be unveiled overnight. So, our current bus stop sign is just blue. It's got a white number on it. Doesn't tell you anything else. Doesn't tell you where it goes. Doesn't even say the MTA. Our new bus stop signs are, state of the art. They have where they're going, how frequently they're running. We have folks a lot of times waiting at bus stops in the middle of the day for routes that are running only during peak hours. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want our riders to have good information. And so those 5,000 bus stop signs will be unveiled overnight.
There must be some people out there who have a bus they take now, who maybe live in a certain spot because that bus connects to where they work, and that line's going to go away. I mean, how do you think about those people?
Well, I think, with these high-frequency lines, one thing that we're hoping to do is really put in place a better, more reliable system. So, one of the reasons that we're really changing this has to do with sort of just the the structure of the network as it is today. For example, we put way too many routes downtown. Baltimore and Fayette Streets, for example. Baltimore Street has over 800 buses a day. It's just far too many. Pratt Street has only 300. We need to even that out. And so by making changes of, say, spreading bus routes out on downtown streets, we're going to improve reliability throughout the entire system. That's going to help people to get places better and faster.
What's the feedback you've been getting? I know when this was first proposed, which is over a year now, the then mayor of Baltimore was not initially a fan. What's the relationship with city government at this point?
Yeah, it's a great question. We've had a really great working relationship with our Baltimore City Department of Transportation. We went out for an initial round of feedback, a first round of public feedback, and got around 1,000 comments. We've done a couple of additional rounds of feedback, and to date we've received around 4,500 comments on our plan. It's gone pretty well, and I think that what's happened, there's been this evolution of people understanding the system better. You know, people saw it at first and said, whoa, this is mind-blowing, you know, and so we've moderated a bit, and so I think people are a lot happier with it. You know, speaking of Baltimore City DOT, a couple really cool things that I got to talk about that we're doing. One are 5.5 miles of new dedicated bus lanes downtown. So they're down on Pratt and Lombard Street right now. You may have seen them, bright red lanes. And those are also going to be down.
It's more like rust color, I think.
It is. It's terracotta. Exactly.
It is, really.
Yeah. So you know, but we're trying to get.
It means I can't drive in that lane.
That's right.
Unless I'm making a right turn.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
It kind of you know, has some cuts in it, so that then you can make a right-hand turn. So you know, we're looking at new dedicated bus lanes on Baltimore and Fayette Streets, on Charles and St. Paul, on kind of the Gill, Gay and Hillen Street corridors. It's all in an effort to get our buses through the most congested area of our region.
Let's grab a phone call. Baltimore County, this is Pam. Pam, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Thank you. I was calling because I saw that on the map there were colors, and being in Baltimore County on western Baltimore County, I wanted to ask about the red line because I know that it had been discontinued. Is it going to be resumed?
Thank you very much. So the decision to not build the crosstown light rail, the red line, preceded this decision, but this doesn't have a whole lot to do with that, does it?
It doesn't. You know, so there was a decision made not to move forward with this project, or with the red line. You know, this project is really 100% focused on making our bus system better, and there have been folks that have recognized for decades that our bus system needs to be relooked at.
What do you expect to happen in terms of the number of riders or number of rides per day?
Yeah.
You hope it'll go up.
Well, you know, I think our hope is that by putting out a better product, you know, we may see ridership increases. You know, our focus right now is providing a good, reliable service. We want to provide a good, reliable product that people can count on day in and day out to get to work. That's the focus right now.
Michael in Arundel County. Michael, thank you for the call. Go ahead.
I'm calling to find out what could be done to improve transportation from outlying areas such as Arnold, Savannah Park, Annapolis, to Johns Hopkins.
Thank you very much. So to get from those areas, what would you do?
Sure. So, you know, a big part of BaltimoreLink, while a big focus is on Baltimore's bus system, regional connectivity is something else we focused a lot on. And so back on...
You know, we've built, historically, just to interrupt for a second, we've built a lot of things that don't connect, like the light rail and the metro don't connect, and the red line wouldn't have connected to anything.
Yeah. Well, the metro and the light rail do connect. They're just 1 block away from each other. So, and in a couple of places, they come pretty close.
It's not horseshoes.
It's not horseshoes. Yeah, I understand. The speaking of Annapolis, so back in March, we did roll out a new commuter bus line that runs from Baltimore to Annapolis and Annapolis to Baltimore. We just started that up. It's a fantastic new service. It actually starts over on Kent Island on the eastern shore, picks up folks in Annapolis, comes to Baltimore, and then again we have one going Baltimore-Annapolis. We also started a new commuter bus line getting Baltimore City residents up to Aberdeen Proving Ground. So that's a great new connection for Baltimore City residents working up at the base. We also did some enhancements to our commuter bus between Columbia and Baltimore, where we have a great popular service, and we added some trips there as well. So, you know, I guess I'd advise the caller to check out our website, mta.maryland.gov, and see if that's a commuter bus that would work from them, that would get them to Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Right, but it can be done, and the idea is that you'd be able to get to the Baltimore Metro line, if nothing else, which goes right over to Hopkins.
That's exactly right.
Baltimore County, this is Ralph. Ralph, thank you for the call. Go ahead.
Hi, my questions, what will happen to the, what's going to happen with the specialty lines that serve areas used a lot by low-income workers, say to Stella Maris and north of the city, and say the Under Armour factory in Curtis Bay, the Amazon distribution center on Bruning Highway, those kind of things. Sometimes they're the only way low-income workers can get to those jobs if they don't have a car.
Ralph, great question. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. So, I focused a lot on those 12 color-coded CityLink lines, but we have a total of 65 lines in our system. Those 12 lines form the backbone of the system, but we supplement them with plenty of geographic coverage to a lot of the places that the caller just noted. Amazon, Under Armour's facility, Stella Maris, all of these are places that we will still go under our new system.
What was the process? You considered where Amazon is when you were looking at Bruning Highway, right?
Yeah, so we use a good bit of data. We use origin destination data, so we use what are called OD surveys, in addition to just employment data. We met with a lot of employers and got data on zip codes, where employees live, where they're coming from, where they're trying to get to, and then we took that information and really tried to build the routes around where people wanted to go. And again, this is about reimagining a bus network that hasn't been looked at in 50 or 60 years, and taking that data, giving it a good refresh, giving it a good look, and completely reimagining it.
Anne Arundel County, this is George. George, thank you for the call. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have a couple questions. One would be approximately what percentage of their passengers do you think that this will impact, presumably to the good? And I'd also wonder whether the overall program provides any operational efficiencies, or whether it will increase your cost, and if so, how is it being funded?
Very good. George, thank you for the call.
So,
and I'm guessing it's going to impact 100% of your riders.
It will impact 100% of our riders, yeah. All lines change, if not in alignment, then in number and in frequency. So, a route that comes every 40 minutes could be coming every 30 minutes now. The CityLink lines will be much more high frequency than some of the lines that are out there today.
Overall budget for running the buses, next year versus last year?
Sure. So, this is funded with $135 million from Governor Hogan that, put into this as investment into this great project. That's spread between some operating and some capital, the operating over 6 years. So it adds some additional money in each of our years to the budget. And then the capital pieces go towards great things like dedicated bus lanes, transit signal priority, transfer facilities. We're even partnering with Baltimore City on their bike share program to have bike share docks near our light rail and metro stations.
So I'm guessing the day after this goes into effect, there's going to be a lot of stories in the news from people who've been dislocated one way or another, and there's going to be sort of a negative news cycle for some period of time. What made the situation such that you needed to do kind of radical surgery and do it all at once?
Yeah, I think if you were going out to a lot of the community meetings and having conversations with our riders, you talk to them and hear about how we need to provide a more reliable service. And so as we took a look at it, a transit system is much, it's like a human body, you can't just fix an arm, you can't just fix a single limb, it's all connected. And so when we looked at it, we said there have to be some systemic wholesale changes that happen to the system to make it more reliable.
Cheryl in Baltimore City. Cheryl, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Hi, my question is particularly for Baltimore City. Are there going to be more benches that are sheltered on bus stops, as well as trash cans, so that people aren't exposed to the elements?
Great question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. It's a fantastic question. So a big part of BaltimoreLink is our transfer facilities that we're building. The big one that we're building is out at the West Baltimore MARC station, which is kind of our crown jewel of the system, where we're going to have additional benches and shelters. Throughout the system, we're going to have 200 bus shelters that go out throughout the system. We have 400 shelters today. That'll increase to 600. I'd also urge any community associations to check out our website, and we can give some contact info for our Adopt a Stop program, which has been really successful. And it's a great way for local businesses and local communities to adopt a bus stop or a bus shelter and help us keep it clean. We want to have a clean system for everybody.
They get some signage in return for that.
That's exactly right.
Very good. Carroll County, this is Laura. Laura, thank you for the call. Go ahead. Oops, let's try that again. Laura, you're on. Go ahead.
Yes, great. Hi, thank you. There are so many of us in Carroll County who commute into the city. scores and scores. I feel we're fairly ignored where bus lines and things like that are concerned. Is there any chance of this improving in the future?
Thanks very much.
We don't have any plans in the future to be extending bus lines out to Carroll County. I don't have a great answer for that one.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, in the last half minute we have,
Sure.
how people can get more information on a local basis where this is going to run.
Yeah, so best place for information right now is BaltimoreLink.com. We have so many resources for people. We have a comparative trip planner where people can put in where they're coming from, where they're going, and it gives them a comparison between what they'd take today and what they'd take in the future. We also have a forum there where community associations can contact us to either get more information, or we're happy to come out and give a community presentation about how routes impact them on the local level.
Very good. Kevin Quinn with the MTA. Busy man, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thursday at this time on Your Money in Business, TV, print, and social, how surround sound is a game changer for companies. Join us Thursday at 7:30. For all of us at MPT, I'm Jeff Salkin. Thanks for watching and have a good night.
This program was made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities.